Harry at quarterback, Don Fricke at fullback, Pat Fisher at left half, Gene Ward, a sophomore, at right half. The line, Reedy, Haney, Olson, Moore, ZENTIC, McDowell, and Purcell. Bob Zender along with Ted Connor, all set to bring you play-by-play in game number 7 of the 1959 Cornhusker football season. Back deep to receive the kickoff for Oklahoma, Mike McClellan, a 180-pound sophomore from Stanford, Texas, and the great fullback, Prentice Gaunt, 195, 5'11", 21 years old, a senior. Gene Ward will kick off for the Cornhuskers. Here's the kick by Ward, and the football game is underway. Comes down on the Oklahoma 28, picked up by Mike McClellan. He's up across the 25 as he tries to go and circle the left end of the Huskers. He is caught back on the 28-yard line. He tried to dodge around in the 25-yard area, moved up to the 28 before he was hit by Don Purcell. Oklahoma puts the ball in play, 1st and 10 on its own 28-yard line. Sooners in white uniforms with the red numerals. Here's the quick opener over the left side. Mike McClellan across the 35 up to the 36-yard line. Pat Fisher brings him down. The one thing that really impresses you about this Oklahoma team is the way they get off the ground and back into the huddle, and a very short count when the ball is snapped. Usually that back is through the line before you can blink your eyes. Backfield overshifted to the right. The pitch goes wide to the right side. Mike McClellan turns the corner at the 40. He's across the 45 and dives higher to the 48-yard line of Oklahoma before Don Olson, a 213-pound junior from Grand Island, brings him down. Oklahoma, even though their record is 3-2 this year, still shows that great quickness. It's a 1st and 10 for Oklahoma at the 48. Here's the pitch out wide from Boyd, going to Brewster Hobby. He turns the corner across the 50 into Nebraska territory and bounced out of bounds at the Cornhusker 44-yard line at the far side of the field in front of the Sooner bench. Don Fricke and Harry Tully combined in the tackle along with LEROY ZENTIC. The officials bring the ball inbounds 18 yards in from the far sidelines and place it at the 44-yard line of Nebraska. 2nd and 3 after the 7-yard pickup by Brewster Hobby. Mike McClellan split out wide, and before the Sooners run off another play, Nebraska calls timeout, stopping the clock with 14 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first period of play. The score, Nebraska 0, Oklahoma 0.
Good boots are indispensable equipment for your fall, field, and stream sports. And if you buy your boots with the same discretion you buy other sporting equipment, you'll visit Gold's Men's Shoe Department and select wooden stream boots by Weinbrenner. They're made to give you the warm, comfortable wear you need. They're Insul-Fleece lined and have long-wearing raw crepe sole and heel. The 8-inch boots have a sewed-in gusset, especially designed to keep dirt from getting in. So for long wear and superb comfort, ask for wooden stream boots by Weinbrenner. That's in the men's shoe department on the balcony at Gold's of Nebraska, Lincoln's busy department store.
From the opening kickoff, the Oklahoma Sooners have marched the football from their own 28-yard line to the 44-yard line of Nebraska, where they have the ball 2nd and 3 when play resumes here in the opening moments of the first period. Marshall York is now in a tackle in place of Tom Cox for the Sooner offensive unit. He weighs 202 pounds, 6'3", 20 years old, a junior from Amarillo, Texas. He's been out for several games because of injury. A Husker change, CARROLL ZARUBA in at right halfback, replacing Gene Ward. ZARUBA, the veteran of this Husker club, 25 years old, 201 pounds, 5'9", a senior. He makes up the defensive backfield along with Don Fricke, Harry Tully, and Pat Fisher. Incidentally, Oklahoma has 8 Texans in their starting lineup. They set the play in motion once again. McClellan fumbles the ball. It's recovered by LEROY ZENTIC. And the Huskers own the ball at the Nebraska 46-yard line. Boyd attempted to hand off to McClellan. The ball was fumbled in the backfield, but wait a minute, there might have been a penalty on the play. Offside penalty coming up against the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and of course that's a bad break for Nebraska, just when it looked like the picture might change. Instead, it's a 5-yard walk-off against the Cornhuskers. It takes the ball down to the 39-yard line of Nebraska. The second first down of the game for the Oklahoma Sooners. Talk about the breaks. They got one there. Unbalanced line to the right for the Sooners. Something new this year. Pitch out wide to Mike McClellan. Turns the corner at the 40. He's inside the Husker 35 and dropped down at the Nebraska 29-yard line. Don Purcell, a sophomore from Omaha, combining on the tackle along with CARROLL ZARUBA. The ball is marked down inbounds, 18 yards in from the near sidelines at the 28-yard line of Nebraska. It is 1st and 10, the third first down for Oklahoma so far in the football game. Here they come up with the ball. Their fine center, Jim Davis, 206, the senior, snaps the ball back. Rolling out to throw is Bobby Boyd. The pass is complete at the Nebraska 16-yard line to Ronald Payne, but he fumbled the ball out of bounds, and the Huskers might have recovered. We'll see what happened here. One of the Huskers is arguing. George Haney is down there arguing with one of the officials. The ball was fumbled out of bounds by the receiver, Ronald Payne of Oklahoma. But the official call is Oklahoma had possession last when the ball tumbled out of bounds. It's a 1st and 10 for Oklahoma, their first pass attempt of the afternoon, and they have their 4th first down. Haney and McDowell were both in there for that ball. Here's the pitch out wide from Boyd, going to Brewster Hobby. Cuts inside the 15, down to the 10, and is hauled down at the Cornhuskers 7-yard line. Well, the Sooners may have lost a couple this year, but they haven't lost that speed. What a football team. One of the Huskers is injured on the play. Fine linebacker Don Fricke is down on the ground right now. He's being attended to by Paul Schneider and George Sullivan, the assistant trainer. The clock is stopped with 13 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the first period. Let's call in Ted Connor for his first quarter comments.
Well, we've had a couple of bad breaks here, and this is one team that if they take all the advantage of a break, there's one thing I've noticed about these Okies is the downfield blocking. Those guys just love to knock somebody down. They've been doing a pretty good job of it.
Ted, I wanted to ask you about this offense of Oklahoma so far, and hadn't had a chance so far in the first period. You recall Oklahoma running out of an unbalanced line before this season, and any reports you've had about their ball games?
Now, this is the first time I've seen it. They usually used a balanced split tee. What they're doing now is splitting their ends out and using a unbalanced line. From what I've seen so far, it's been unbalanced to the left. There you have the power of the single wing and the deception of the split tee.
Okay, time back in on the field. The ball has been placed at the 6-yard line of Nebraska. It is 2nd down and 1 for the Oklahoma Sooners, marching to the goal to our right at the south end of beautiful Memorial Stadium. Fine football day after rain in the early morning hours. Straight tee this time, but the line is split. One of the Huskers bounces in offside. Looked like it could have been George Haney or possibly Don Olson. Haney, I believe, was the first man over. Another Husker joined him before the ball was snapped. So Oklahoma picks up yardage the easy way. Here's the walk-off down to the 2-yard line of Nebraska. And that gives Oklahoma a 1st and goal. Now the ball is placed back at the 3-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal at the Nebraska 3. Here's the handoff from Bobby Bye to Prentice Gott. He's very close to the goal line. Did he make it or did he not? It is a touchdown. They pile right at the mark, right at the goal line, right in front of the goal post. They unpile it one by one, and Prentice Gott was over for the touchdown for Oklahoma. We wanted to be sure to call that one correctly because it was not too far over that chalk mark. And now Oklahoma is measuring off for their kick. The ball will be kicked at the 10-yard line. Jim Davis will attempt the kick. He's the center. Bobby Boyd holds it. The kick by Davis is up. It splits the uprights. It is good. And with 12 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the first period of play, it's Oklahoma 7, Nebraska nothing. With the fine fullback, Prentice Gott, plunging over from 3 yards out, going between right guard and right tackle. He was very close to being held out of there by the Husker line, but he had just enough of that famous momentum of his to put the ball in there. Took the officials quite a time to unpile him before giving the signal, but Gott was definitely in there with that pigskin, and it's a 7-0 ball game. Ted?
Well, like I mentioned before, you don't give these Okies an inch or they'll take a yard. They've proven it right here. We made a couple of mistakes. Right down there on the 6-yard line, we were offside. We gave him some easy yards. And then you could see the tremendous power of this Negro fullback, Prentice Gott. He just bowled his way right over for the score.
Okay, let's see what the Cornhuskers can do with the football. Jim Davis kicking off for Oklahoma. A good boot, end over end, going deep. Coming down at the Nebraska 7. Pat Fisher has it. Cuts to the sideline, to the 25. Breaks away from one man, across the 30, to the 35-yard line. A great run back by Pat Fisher. Pat Fisher, 166 pounds, 5'9", 19 years old, a junior, brought this crowd to his feet as he took that ball to the 35-yard line before he was lassoed by Wahoo McDaniel and Bobby Boyd. Nebraska 1st and 10 on its own 35-yard line. Straight T formation. The backfield, Talley, Fricke, ZARUBA, and Fisher. Talley plays plenty of time. He gets behind center, pitches out wide. Here's the pitch to Carroll ZARUBA. Cuts the corner at the 40. He's loose at the 45, across the 50, and out of bounds at the 48-yard line of Oklahoma before Jim Davis brings him down. Boy, you can catch the spirit of this crowd. They were electrified by that play. It's a 1st and 10 Nebraska, their first of the game compared to 5 for Oklahoma. Carroll ZARUBA running like a wild horse, churned up the sidelines for a first down. 1st and 10 Nebraska at the 48-yard line of Oklahoma, and Nebraska has called timeout. The clock is stopped with 11 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in the first period, and the score, Oklahoma 7, Nebraska nothing.
The smartest dressed people in Lincoln buy at Gold's of Nebraska, where you'll find Bo Brummel, famous name in sport shirts for men. It's the sports shirt that really fits. Why? Because you can choose your own sleeve length. Select small to extra large shirts in 32 to 35 sleeve length. Bo Brummel features fine workmanship in easy care wash and wear cotton. See the assorted stylings in handsome solids, plaids, stripes, and prints. And they're featured at the low, low price of $3.98. That's in the men's store on the street floor at Gold's of Nebraska, Lincoln's busy department store. Here's Bob Dennis.
We have 11 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in the first period of play. Oklahoma, unbeaten in 74 straight games in the Big 8 Conference, leads Nebraska by the score of 7-0. Here's a surpriser. Northwestern, the nation's number 2 ranked team, trails Indiana at the end of the first period, 10-0. Indiana 10-0 over Northwestern after the first quarter. Army, at the end of 3 quarters, leads the Air Force 13-6 at Yankee Stadium. Time back in. Huskers 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line of Oklahoma. Here's Talley. Hands off over the cutback to Carroll ZARUBA. He gets down to the 45. ZARUBA, the right halfback, cut back to the left side and carried to the 45-yard line. The officials say his forward motion stopped back on the 46. Kyle Milstead, a 201-pound sophomore from Athens, Texas, one of the 8 Texans starting for Oklahoma, made the tackle. The ball is just inside the hash mark at the 46-yard line in Oklahoma territory. Huskers in control. T formation with the right half. ZARUBA flankered wide to the right side. Talley pitches to Fisher. He tries to cut the corner to the right. He's at the 45, to the 44, and finally knocked out of bounds at the 43-yard line of Oklahoma. Pat Fisher rolling out to his right, tried to turn the corner. He was pursued by Bobby Boyd and Prentice Gott, who made the tackle for the Sooners. The ball comes inbounds. It's placed at the 43-yard line of Oklahoma. That makes it 3rd down, 8 yards to go for Nebraska. Cornhuskers trail 7-0 here in the first quarter. Nebraska moving to our left, the northern goal. Here they come in their bright scarlet jerseys, white trousers with the red helmets. Oklahoma in white with the crimson numerals. Talley up tight. Dropping back to throw, hands off on the draw to his fullback up through the middle. Don Fricke gets to the 43. That's the line of scrimmage and no further as Kyle Milstead comes in to make the stop along with Vernon Lang. Gary Thompson also in on the tackle. Thompson rated very high by his coach Bud Wilkinson. He's a 194-pound senior from Ada, Oklahoma. It's now 4th and 5 for the Cornhuskers as the Sooner defense is dug in at its own 43-yard line. Oklahoma, anticipating the punt, has dropped back a single safety man at the Sooner 5-yard line. Back in punt formation is Harry Talley for the Cornhuskers. Mike McClellan deep for the Sooners back in his own 5. Talley, a good punter, averaging 35 yards per kick for the season. Gets a good boot into the wind, coming down at the 8-yard line. Picked up by McClellan. He slips and falls at the 9, but there's a flag down. He was signaling for a fair catch, although it was not a clear signal, and one of the Huskers brushed him, I believe. Wait a minute now. There might have been a previous penalty. He ran after he signaled for the fair catch, so it's going to be against Oklahoma. The signal has been given to the crowd, and you can hear the roar. That puts the Sooners back in the hole for a change on their own 2.5-yard line. Good break for the Cornhuskers. They trail 7-0. First period of play. Oklahoma with the ball at its own 2.5-yard line. The backfield is Bobby Boyd, Brewster Hobby, Mike McClellan, and Prentice Scott. Prentice Scott, one of the finest fullbacks in collegiate football today, ranking right up there with Bob White of Ohio State. The Sooners coming out in a spread formation this time. The ends are split wide. Bobby Boyd, the quarterback, takes it off the tee, throws out to his right foot, back on the 2-yard line. Shooting the gap. Halfback tails ZARUBA to make the stop for the Cornhuskers. And this Nebraska team is fired up. Nebraska now has the Sooners with their backs to the wall, unaccustomed to that position as they are. They're on their own 2. It's 2nd and 10. They're not going to kick. Here's Boyd trying to cut the corner. He's caught back on the 1-yard line. A great defensive play by the Huskers. Don Purcell, a 202-pound sophomore from Omaha, makes a big play for the Husker defense. And the ball is back on the 1-yard line. 3rd and 11 for the Sooners. And this crowd is on fire. Oklahoma dropping back into punt formation. In the end zone is Mahu McDaniel. He's the left hand. He's going to punt. Huskers have Fisher deep. Here's the kick. It's partially blocked. It's coming down at the 2. It's rolling. The Huskers have it at the 4-yard line of Oklahoma. There's a pileup, I believe. Possibly Oklahoma might have recovered. We'll wait and see. Jim Moore had his hands on the football. The officials were digging in there, but this crowd is really on fire. And now the ball, I believe, goes to Oklahoma. It's Oklahoma's ball. We'll talk about a bad break. It's a 1st and 10 now for Oklahoma on their own 4 after the Huskers had blocked the kick. And from up here, it looked like they had the ball on the 4, but the officials dug in the pile and they give it to Oklahoma. Bobby Boyd, the quarterback, plunges forward across the 5 to the 6-yard line. Boy, what a football game so far. LEROY ZENTIC was in on the tackle. Oklahoma 7, Nebraska nothing. 2nd and 7 for the Sooners. Boy, these Cornhusker fans were excited. You could hardly blame them. It's homecoming. They're going to punt on 2nd and 7. Wahoo McDaniel deep in his own end zone. Pat Fisher at safety for the Huskers at the 47. The snap back by McDaniel. Here's the kick, a booming beauty by McDaniel. Comes down at the 50-yard strike. Hauled in by Fisher. He's at the 45. Dodges one man. Gets down to the 42-yard line of Oklahoma. It'll be 1st and 10 Cornhuskers. At the 41 is where the ball is placed as Ron Payne made the stop for the Sooners. 7 minutes left to go in the first period of play. Oklahoma 7, Nebraska nothing. Cornhuskers on the football at the 41-yard line of the Sooners. The Sooners marching right down in traditional fashion to score, but the Huskers have fired up and they've come fighting back. Left halfback Pat Fisher split wide to the left side. T formation. Here's the play in motion. The pitch out wide to ZARUBA. Turns to his left, cuts the corner. He's brought down at the line of scrimmage at the 41-yard line. Beautiful defense by the Oklahoma Sooner, right side of the line, led by Ron Payne. He diagnosed that play perfectly. The ball is at the 41-yard line of Oklahoma. It is 2nd and 10 for Nebraska. The score, Oklahoma 7, Nebraska nothing. Boy, what a break that would have been if the Huskers could have had that football at the Oklahoma 4. You can tell we've had plenty of rain here in the Lincoln area. The field is being churned up just a bit by the cleats. It may be slippery going before the afternoon is over. ZARUBA, flank to the right side, T formation. Talley, hands off. Cutting back is ZARUBA over right tackle across the 40. Burrows his way down to the 38-yard line of Oklahoma before Milstead and Marshall make the tackle along with Jim Davis. The ball is placed at the 38-yard line of Oklahoma. That makes it 3rd down, 8 yards to go for the Cornhuskers. They trail by 7 points. Cornhuskers in their traditional home scarlet jerseys, the white trousers, and the scarlet helmets. Harry Talley all the way at offensive quarterback so far. ZARUBA split wide to the right side off the right shoulder of his end, Don Purcell. Here's the pitch to Fisher. He's going to throw. It's a long one down at the 8-yard line. It is complete. Don FRICKE caught that ball as 2 of the Sooners rode into the turf at the 6-yard line. Mike McClellan and Prentice Scott were right on top of him when he caught that ball. He made a miraculous catch. For a moment, we couldn't tell who it was because he was smothered by the Oklahoma defense. That is the first pass completion and the first attempt for the Cornhuskers. They have it first and goal at the 6-yard line of Oklahoma. Straight T formation. Talley swings to the left, pitches wide to ZARUBA. He's at the 5, driving hard, then pushed back across the 10-yard line. Mike McClellan shot the gap defensively for Oklahoma, but the ball comes up to the 5-yard line, and the Huskers have it second, and let's call it 5.5 as they place it just inside the 6-yard hash mark right now. Picture, if you will, a beautiful football afternoon, 36,000 excited homecoming fans here in Lincoln. The Huskers have played their finest football of the year so far. They trail 7-0, but they're knocking on the touchdown door at the goal to our left. Fricke split to the right side, T formation. Talley pitches wide to Fisher. He's running back. He's caught at the 16-yard line. Beautiful defensive play by Wahoo McDaniel, defensive end for the Oklahoma Sooners. And the Huskers have run into that same old trouble every time they get near the opponent's goal line. They can't push it over. It is now 3rd and 15 as the ball is at the 15-yard line of Oklahoma. Fisher was caught as he tried to turn the corner, sweeping wide to his right. Husker backfield is Harry Talley at quarterback, Carroll ZARUBA at right half, Don Fricke at fullback, and Pat Fisher at left half. The ends are Brady and Don Purcell. 3rd down on the 15-yard line of Oklahoma. The Huskers have to make it all the way. Drop to throw is Talley. He throws at the 3-yard line. It is intercepted by Bobby Boyd at the 3-yard line of Oklahoma, and the Husker threat is dead. The clock is stopped as a new horde of Sooners comes in. Their second unit, the alternate unit coming in, and the clock is stopped with 3 minutes and 32 seconds left to go in the first period of play. With time out on the field, the score is Oklahoma 7, Nebraska 0.
How would you like to have one day each week to do exactly as you please? To read a book, be with your family, or partake in community activities. You can, you know, when you make Wash Day a holiday the Evans way. Monday morning, call Evans. Just dial 24461. And soon an Evans bonded route man will be at your door. He'll take that big laundry bundle off your hands in a hurry. And before you even have time to miss it, he'll bring it back again with clothes, linens, every single article laundered to beautiful Evans perfection. So be assured that while you're doing yourself a favor by making Wash Day a holiday, Evans Cleaning and Laundry is being kind to your clothes. Call 24461 or stop by the office at 333 North 12th, Monday.
Time back in on the football field. The ball is at the 3.5-yard line of Oklahoma. The Sooners in possession. They lead 7-0. We have 3 minutes and 32 seconds left to go in the first period of play. Here's the play in motion. The number 2 quarterback, Bob Cornell, hands off over the left side to Jackie Holt. He hits over left tackle across the 5 to the 7-yard line of the Sooners. The new backfield for the Sooners includes Bob Cornell at quarterback, 184 a junior, Ronnie Hartline at fullback, 205 a junior, Jackie Holt, 172 a senior at left half, and Dick Carpenter, 178 a senior at right half. Here's the play in motion from the unbalanced line. The handoff is faked to Holt. Bob Cornell drives across the 10 up to the 11-yard line. The fans thought he had been stopped back at the 10. Quick opening play. That makes it 3rd down and 2 for Oklahoma. The Sooners have the ball deeper in their own territory at the 11-yard line. They're going to punt and play percentage football. Bob Cornell, a junior from Oklahoma City, in his own end zone. Dallas Dyer in the ball game now, playing safety position for the Cornhuskers up on the Oklahoma 42. Here's the kick by Bob Cornell. Coming down at the Oklahoma 42, picked up by Dyer. He is barreled to the turf by 5 Husky Sooners. Beautiful kick coverage on the play. Up off the file first, Jerry Tillery along with Phil Lohman, the left and right ends respectively. Beautiful end coverage on the kick. Also Dick Carpenter, a halfback down. These Sooners really cover their kicks. 1st and 10 Huskers at the 42-yard line of Oklahoma. We have 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Sooners lead 7-0. Talley, the quarterback, all the way at that position offensively so far. Tight T. Handoff over the left side, the quick opener to Dallas Dyer. He plunges across the 40 with head down, knees high to the 38-yard line of Oklahoma. Good quick opener a la Oklahoma style, this time by the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Carries the ball down to the 38-yard line. A 4-yard pickup makes it 2nd and 6. Oklahoma 7, Nebraska nothing. Huskers marching to our left, the northern goal. Great T, Harry Talley, 198-pound senior quarterback at the helm, calls the signals. He had completed 12 of 28 passes, 3 for touchdowns coming into this game. Takes it off the tee. Running to his right on the option, keeps it across the 35, to the 30, and drives with 2 tacklers on his back, down to the 27-yard line of Oklahoma before Dick Carpenter rides him to the earth. It's a 1st and 10, Nebraska. Nebraska has 3 first downs compared to 5 for the Sooners. Nebraska has attempted 2 passes. They have 1 completed, and they have 1 intercepted. 1st and 10, Nebraska, at the 27.5-yard line of Oklahoma. 55 seconds left to go in the first period of play. Harry Talley calls the signals, takes it, plunges straight forward to the 25. There's a huge pileup at the Oklahoma 25-yard line as Moore, Fairley, and White all converge for the tackle. We enter the second quarter of play. Nebraska has the ball, 3rd down and 4 at the Oklahoma 21.5-yard line. Here in the second quarter, the Cornhuskers are moving to our right. The goal at the south end of the stadium. Harry Talley puts the play in motion. Hands off to Pat Fisher. He's across the 15. Breaks away from 2 more tacklers at the 10. And is finally hauled down at the 8-yard line of Oklahoma. It's a first down for Nebraska. Mike McClellan made the stop for the Sooners. 4 first downs for Nebraska compared to 5 for Oklahoma. The Cornhuskers are threatening again. They have the ball at the Oklahoma 8-yard line. Oklahoma 7, Nebraska nothing. An inspired Cornhusker ball club to the line of scrimmage at the Oklahoma 8. It is 1st and goal. Talley quiets the crowd. The line split wide. Talley pitches wide to Fisher. He's at the 8, the 5, down to the 4-yard line of Oklahoma before he is brought down. Hunter Scott made the stop for Oklahoma. Pat Fisher, he weighs only 166 pounds, but he put his head down and drove hard after he was hit at the 6-yard line to carry to the 4. Ted, this ball club is making a great effort so far.
They're playing real inspired ball. This Harry Talley is coming up to the line. What he's doing is checking off. They'll call a play in the huddle. They get up to the line. Oklahoma will josh their 6-2 defense around. Harry will look it over, and if he sees a hole there, he'll check off. He's been doing that. It takes a few seconds, and there's been a couple of times I thought we might get called for too much time, but he has been able to check off against these Okies, and we are opening big holes and running very well against them.
We're in the opening moments of the second period of play. The Nebraska Cornhuskers are threatening for the second time this afternoon. They have the ball at the Oklahoma 4-yard line, and it's 2nd down. Jim Davis, the superlative center for the Oklahoma Sooners, has been injured on the previous play. And the Oklahoma trainer, Rollinson, is attending to his injury at the present time down at the 4-yard line. The Cornhusker lineup at the present time includes Harry Talley at quarterback. Clay White in now at right halfback in place of Carroll ZARUBA. Don Fricke at fullback, Pat Fisher at left halfback. And what a ball game Fisher has played so far. The ends are Roger Brady and Don Purcell. The tackles for the Cornhuskers, George Haney and Roland McDowell. The guards, Don Olson and LEROY ZENTIC. And the center is Jim Moore. Time is back in on the field. The Cornhuskers have the ball at the 4-yard line of Oklahoma. 2nd down. They trail by 1 touchdown, 7-0. Huskers to the line of scrimmage. The crowd roars. Talley tries to quiet the crowd. Looks over the 8-man defensive lineup for Oklahoma. Takes the ball off the tee. Hands off, up through the middle to Don Fricke. He burrows for about 1.5 yards to the 2-yard line before Jerry Thompson, Vernon Long, Jim Davis, and Kyle Midstad make the tackle. The officials have marked the ball down at the 2.5-yard line of the Oklahoma Sooners. It is 3rd down for Nebraska. 3rd and goal. Nebraska huddling at the Sooner 7. Here they come to the line of scrimmage. Jim Moore up over the ball. Tight T formation, no flankers. Talley takes plenty of time, looks over the defense, crouches under center, calls the signals. He pitches out wide to the second man by it. Fisher, he bobbles the ball. He's hit out of bounds at the 5-yard line. A loss of possibly a couple of yards, but he may have been hit at the 3.5 before he was bounced back to the 5. The officials check with the side marker and bring it inbounds at the 3-yard line, so it's only a half-yard loss on the play. But it's 4th down. Vernon Lang and Wahoo McDaniel made the stop for the Sooners. A big play. 4th down and 3 yards to go. Tally quiets the crowd once again. Cornhuskers trail by 7 points here in the second period. Halfback split wide to the right. Here's a pass complete for a touchdown from Harry Tally to right end, Dick McDaniel. A Nebraska Cornhusker football team fired to the heights has come roaring back. They now trail 7-6. Ron Meade in the ball game to attempt the extra point for the Cornhuskers. He will kick the ball from the 10-yard line of Oklahoma. Pat Fisher will hold. The pass going from Harry Tally to Dick McDaniel for the touchdown. Here's the snap. They're going to fake it. It's Fisher rolling to his right. He throws. It is complete, intended for Clay White in the end zone. The Huskers gambled for the lead, tried to go for 2, but they trailed by 1, 7-6. But you have to give them credit. I think everybody here was happy to see them gamble, which they have not done previously this season. A terrific ovation for this Cornhusker team. Listen. It's interesting to point out that Oklahoma has had only 5 plays from scrimmage since they scored their early touchdown. The Huskers have really been fired up. Ted Connor. Ted stepped out for a moment, I guess, to check with some statistics downstairs. He'll be back up. I'm sure he'll have some very interesting comments to make about that touchdown drive. Well, hang on, everybody. Last week it was 7-6. Oklahoma over Kansas. Who knows what the outcome will be here today? The Cornhuskers have scored their first touchdown against Big 8 competition this year. They were shut out last week by Missouri 9-0 and lost by the score of 10-3 to Kansas. They have shown great strength on the offense today, moving the ball like they haven't done since the Minnesota game. Okay, Ted is back. Ted, your comments on the touchdown drive.
Oh, that was terrific. They had these Okies thinking they was going to run for that. They turned around and passed. He was wide open.
Okay, Nebraska kicks off. Doing the honors is Don Fricke. The ball comes down to the 18-yard line, picked up by quarterback Bobby Boyd. He's across the 30 to the 35-yard line before 5 scarlet jerseys bring him down hard. Boy, this Nebraska team is fired up. They trail by 1 point, 7-6. Gambling to go for the 2 points. They came within a whisker of making it 2 as Clay White made a desperate dive for the Pat Fisher pass in the end zone. It just eluded his fingertips. But the way these Huskers have played so far, they're fired up, and of course, there's no reason to believe why they can't go down and score again. And now time is called on the field, stopping the clock with 13 minutes left to go in the second quarter. With timeout on the field, the score is Oklahoma 7, Nebraska 6.
At Golds of Nebraska, you'll find that the Haynes team is back. And the lineup features such All-Americans as the nylon reinforced T-shirt with no sag neck and long-wearing comb cotton briefs for men and boys. Also for men, Haynes has a broadcloth Skippy boxer, comb cotton undershirt, and broadcloth snap front side elastic boxer. See the long-wearing sweatshirts for men in the crew neck and hooded styles. Ask to see the Haynes lineup in the men's and boys' departments at Golds of Nebraska, Lincoln's busy department store. Back to this exciting ball game and Bob Zenner.
Well, Husker lineup at the present time includes John Bond and Max Martz at the ends. Dick McDaniel, who caught the touchdown pass, is out of the ball game now. He's a sophomore who has seen very little service so far this year, and he is a Texan from Port Arthur, 196, 6'3", 24 years old, and a mighty happy Texan you can bet right now. The Husker tackles are Dwayne Mongerson and Joe Gakasana. The guards, John Ponciego and Dick Tozier, and the center is Darrell Cooper. And now Cooper is going out of the ball game to be replaced by MICK TINGELHOFF at the pivot position. The backfield includes Ron Meade at quarterback, Clay White at right half, Don Fricke at fullback, and Dallas DYER at left halfback. The Sooner backfield. Bobby Boyd at quarterback. One of the great ones of the nation. Mike McClellan at left half. Brewster Hobby at right half. Prentice Scott at fullback. Here's the quick opener. Bobby Boyd hands off to Prentice Scott up through the middle. He is hit short of the 40-yard line. Let's see, at about the 39 is where the ball is placed down. But a